people who has redefined winning over and over again is this fellow. I met him in high school. I knew him quite well. He went to Homestead High School. My mom was a secretary at Homestead in Cupertino. I was a freshman. He was a junior. But I got to know him professionally in April of 2000. And here's what happened. It had to do with this little company, Rioport. How many of you have heard of this company, Rioport? And at the time, I was CEO of Schwab.com, that Charles Schwab, and I was asked to become an outside director of this company. It was kind of exciting because it was hot. This was a very controversial period. The year 2000, Apple would not come out with an iPod for another year. What people forget about Apple is they were to hell and back in the 1990s. I mean, Steve lost the company. They had great challenges. You know the rest of the story there. And he says, here's what I learned, and Mark, you're so arrogant, I know you've missed the point. So here's the lesson. He says, Mark, you've got to get out of your silo. There's never just one business model. There are going to be early adapters that you're already attracting. You have 250,000 of them right now. That might go to 2.5 million, but it'll still be a fraction of the business. That you need to be thinking about how this is not about technology. This is about the ability to reach many, many new types of markets. And I said, but wait a minute, we're the 800-pound gorilla. We're already having such success in this marketplace. What are you talking about, Steve? Then he went on and gave me another piece of advice. He would be, and he didn't admit this at the time, that he'd be coming out with the iPod in about a year. And this is how our device looked. And he said, before he came out with the more streamlined version there of that iPod, he said, Mark, what you've developed there is kind of an interesting idea, but it's a geeky piece of crap, and it's going to get crushed in the marketplace in about 12 months. I wouldn't mortgage your house to do this business. But here's the interesting set of lessons that he provided that we've seen in our overall research. He was one of the first guys to start thinking about seamless collaboration with the customers. He started focusing for the first time in consumer electronics on outcomes. He knew that customers wanted fashion, passion, and profit. They wanted to pursue those three areas. And so he said that the defining opportunity in the marketplace right now, the defining opportunity in this market, and you're going to miss it, Mark, if you don't look for it, is that there are many consumption models. I don't know if any of this is sounding familiar to you. He says, what is going to make the difference between the winners and the losers is that they're going to see new consumption models as a threat, and the winners are going to see it as an opportunity to differentiate against the folks that don't have the intestinal fortitude to make the change. So that's part of what I'm talking about with redefining winning. We saw this across, in 17 industries that we studied, we're seeing the same pattern. And now what we're seeing is a situation where we actually have to think about new business models.